Let's look at Linux Desktop GUI. When you install Linux in your environment and you pick graphical interface, it will be installed with desktop called GNOME or KDE depending on what you picked. And I am going through this lesson for the GUI overview is because something that you should know about the GUI, how it works, how it looks like, if you get a question about it, how you need to answer it. So let's look at our GUI. So I have desktop GUI here, which is Linux based, and it is called GNOME. And if you notice, it has two icons. One is home and the other one is trash. These two icons are created by default whenever you install Linux. On the top of this window, as you see, this is the console window. The top menu, file, machine, view, input, devices, help. That menu is for VirtualBox. This is not for Linux desktop environment. This is for the VirtualBox. So now let's look at our applications. So when you click on the application, you will see on the favorites, whatever you have used most recently is probably gonna show up in this menu, and you have a Firefox browser. And some of the tools like how do you navigate the file system, application installer, if you need some help, and open up a terminal. If you are using GUI, most of the time you will be clicking onto the terminal. This terminal allows you to run commands in Linux GUI environment. It is just like as if you right click on your desktop and click on open terminal. And this is the environment, this is the actual shell that we will be using to run our commands. Other options we have in the menu are accessories, where you could run calculator, clocks, files, text editor, and weather. If you are not familiar with VI, which you should be, and we will cover that in our later lectures, the text editor can be used in the GUI environment to edit your text. Then we'll go over into documentation. Documentation is about if you need any help with any of the commands, you could look it up. In the graphics, we have how to change your desktops, internet, office tools, some settings on the sound and video, SunDrive, one of the options to configure your system with firewall, with print setting, SE Linux troubleshooter, system tools, if you want to change the settings of your desktop environment, or even if you want to change some of the configuration, you will go in here and make the changes to the setting option. And then you have other, these are some of the options that you could use to edit the policy, or if you wanted to modify some JDK, which is the Java based policy tools, but you won't be working with it as much. Then the next option we have places. If you want to go to the home, you want to access your documents and download music, pictures, and videos. On the right hand side, you'll see it shows time up here. And then you have these three little options. At any of these options, you click on it, you will get this setting icon. So you could pick this setting icon, and you will see you could change the setting of your GUI desktop by clicking on any of the personalized options you have, which is background, notification, privacy, search. And then on the hardware level, if you want to connect some of your external devices to the Bluetooth, keyboard, mouse, network is one of the important one. If you are not familiar with network, how do you configure your static IP, you could click on it and you could actually go into the configuration and assign an IP address to your machine by going to IPv4. Again, this will come later on during our lectures. So you could cancel this out, you go back into the setting, and you will see all other different options that are associated with this setting. At the bottom you have if you want to change the system time, some of the details, some sharing if you want to share your file system. At the bottom of the desktop you'll see you have right here, it says 1 of 4. This 1 of 4 means that you have 4 different workspaces environment. If you have one task running on one desktop GUI, you could go to another workspace, then you will be able to perform tasks on another one. So it's just a way of organizing things. If you are a user of Mac, you probably have seen this workspace environment as well, where you could go from one workspace environment to another workspace environment. So once again, this is for the GNOME GUI for Linux, and it looks pretty much the same in CentOS as well as in Red Hat. So try it out, try different option and see how those different options are for, and just get yourself familiarized with it.